Hi, this is Andy again on Lifelong Gaming Channel here. I posted a couple other videos that were video game related, but I'm a gamer of all types. I like board games. I like chess, card games, pretty much games of any type. I really love games. So the point of tonight is to talk a little bit about Magic the Gathering, and a new set just came out, and so I have a bunch of cards that I want to open and hopefully see some good ones. So hopefully most of you are aware Magic the Gathering, it's one of these so-called collectible card games where you buy randomized packs for the most part, and then you construct your own deck, and then each person, comes to the table with their own deck, and you battle against another person. It's very rules heavy, which is kind of the reason that I like it. If you kind of like puzzles and logical thinking and that kind of thing, that's a lot of the appeal of Magic the Gathering. Plus, it's set in, kind of a fantasy setting, universe, whatever, which I also enjoy. So, that being said, my original exposure to Magic was it was right around 93, 94. I was in college at that time, and the game had just come out. And so I had been kind of a regular down at the local game shop in the little campus town area where I was at. And they had this new thing, and they were explaining, oh, it's these cards, and you get them, and you play this game, and it's not really cool. So I went in and they had this little kind of starter set thing. I have it probably somewhere. I should go find it at some point. But in any event, it's just like it was this box, and it had kind of a starter deck, and it had a little pouch that had little beads, little plastic beads, whatever, that you would use as life total and stuff that nobody uses anymore. But anyway, it was pretty cool, and I still have it somewhere, so I'll have to check that out at some point. But so I got kind of hooked on it back then, and then I played it maybe for a year or so, but then, it was college, I had other stuff going on, and then also I had no money, and this type of a hobby, unfortunately, can be kind of pricey, and so I just kind of dropped it at that point. But a year and a half or so, maybe 2 years ago, I was on the Xbox 360, doing a bunch of gaming, and I saw one of their downloadable titles they had was a Magic the Gathering, a digital version of it. So I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Because I was a little surprised, quite honestly, that the game still existed, seeing as how I had played it 15 plus years prior to that. So because a lot of these games, they just kind of come and go, and then they don't last. But this was still around, seemed to be quite popular. They had this Xbox version. So I downloaded that, I started playing again, instantly remembered how fun, the thing was, and I got kind of hooked. And so then I went to the store again, to the actual physical place, maybe a starter deck, whatever. And so then I asked him, well, hey, do they do a Friday, like a weekly thing or something? And he's like, yeah, we do this Friday Night Magic, and, we do a draft to show up and blah, blah. Well, A, I had never drafted before. I didn't even really understand what it was. B, I had no idea what was going on with the current set or block. I didn't even know those terms, whatever. So I show up to one of these things, and I was absolutely destroyed, slaughtered. It was a massacre. It was terrible. But I didn't know half the key words, and it was ugly. But I still had a good time because it reminded me how cool this game can be and everything else. So after that, I kind of went on a quest. Instead of going home and crying about it, I went and spent a lot of time reading up on the rules and reading. It's kind of hard when you're a little bit older. It's not like when you're young, where you just have all this time and you can just find other friends. Hey, let's go play this game and so on. That's just realistically you can't do that. So what I did instead, though, is I have coworkers, right? And so most of them had never played the game, but had at least heard of it. A couple of them maybe had played a long time ago. So I kind of went on a mission to get people hooked on the game, and I was successful in I guess we'll say recruiting several people. And so then we would play at lunch occasionally. And unlike a lot of video games that maybe aren't so social, this is a lot of fun to play in person. That it has a whole social aspect to it, and it's fun. The newest set that just came out, so this is Core 2013 or M13. Wizards of the Coast, the people who make this game, they come out with a new set every summer, or at least for the last several they have, where they call it their core set. And so it's somewhat simplified. The rule set is still how Magic always is, but they don't introduce any new keywords, for instance. that will add new rules. They might bring back ones from previous sets, but it's basically their set that they come out for once a year. That is kind of the base set. So it's a lot of people who maybe haven't played for a while. It'd be a good one to come back in. It's a little less intimidating than some of the newer sets where they have brand new mechanics and there's a lot of other metagame stuff to worry about. So in any event, Core 13 M13 just came out, and last weekend in fact was the pre-release, and I went to the pre-release party. And that's, you go and it's a week before they can sell you the normal product, but they'll have a tournament, and so you'll get in this case it's a sealed, so you get 6 packs. You take those 6 packs, you open them up, you make your 40 card deck out of it, and you play your tournament. Well, my luck was horrible for this thing. The prior set release, or pre-release rather, before this was Avacyn Restored. And Avacyn Restored, I got really lucky. My 6 packs were fantastic. I think I had like 4 mythics and just some really powerful stuff. I did really great. This one, not so much. So I opened my 6 packs and I look at the stuff, and no mythics to be found. And in fact, most of the rares were just complete junk. I had stuff in there that was, this, what is it, door to nowhere or nothingness or whatever. The thing that you can make someone lose instantly, but it costs 2 of every color. I mean, just, absolute junk. You're never going to play that, at least unless you design a deck around it. So, but certainly in a format like a sealed deck, or a sealed where you get 6 packs and you have to make a deck, that's completely unplayable. So not so great at that. I did, however, do well enough in that tournament that I got some prize packs, and in my first prize pack that I opened up, I did get a Liliana, the Planeswalker Liliana. So that's a mythic, obviously, and it's a fairly good one. So that somewhat made up for how horrible my luck was in the normal tournament itself. This week, however, that was last weekend. That was the pre-release. This weekend, however, is the actual release then of the set, meaning you can just go buy the product and you're good to go. So instead of just buying a bunch of individual packs, what you normally do, if you're kind of into this anyway, is you buy a whole box. So this is you go to the store and they would have this box just sitting there, and you would pick out your packs and you'd buy those. Well, instead of just buying them individually like that, because it's quite a bit more pricey if you do it that way, you just go buy a whole box, quite a bit cheaper, and then that way too it kind of gets you going for this new set, whatever the new set is, and then you instantly acquire a whole bunch of the cards. And so it's kind of a fun thing, right? Opening up all these packs and seeing what you're going to get. And sometimes if I have someone else who has a box, then we can maybe do pack wars or something. But in any event, so I get that, and then the other thing that I get, well, and by the way, so when you buy a box too, there's always like a cool little piece of paper with some of the artwork and whatever that set's name is. I like it. I know some people just toss them in the garbage, but I think it's kind of cool because then you can. I always make a new binder for each set that I get. Like a 3-ring binder, and I put the plastic sheets in there that have the 9 holders for the cards, and then I organize it all and have my whole system that I do. But anyway, then in the front of the binder, I put the little artwork piece here so that I can remember if I'm looking at the binders, I can just visually see right away what set it is. So I kind of like that. The other thing that I always buy right when the set comes out is a fat pack. So, and it would probably help if I held it the correct direction. So a fat pack, which I opened the thing, but I haven't actually opened any of the cards yet. What the fat pack is, it's 9 more boosters. So, just the normal boosters that are just like are in the normal box. So 9 more of those, which is okay. But then you get this really sturdy box. Like it's a nice kind of hard box, so you can store some of your cards in there. They give you a bunch of land, which whoop-de-doo. I mean, if you've been playing for a while, you've got near infinite amount of land, so that doesn't really matter. But you never know. Sometimes I shouldn't say that, because sometimes the sets have cool land, meaning the basic lands are like the art's really neat on them, or they'll have the ones where the art is the full card, and so yeah, it's still nice. Just you've got full set of all of those. They also then come with a couple boxes like this, which, they're just flattened when you get them, and then you have to pop them out, whatever. But what drives me absolutely insane about these, so, someone at Wizards of the Coast, I don't know, quality assurance or production, whatever, someone, why in the world do you make these boxes such that you can't put sleeved cards in them? So you know, anyone who actually plays any of this stuff, you sleeve your cards, right? You take out. I guess I don't have any loose cards right here at the second. But the point is, after you open up these packs, you put sleeves on the cards because a lot of these cards are quite valuable, right? Well, once you put the sleeve on it, it's slightly wider. It's, you know, maybe, not much, but it's slightly wider. These boxes that they give you in these products do not fit it anymore, which drives me insane. Especially when you buy one of the dual decks, right? The dual decks are two pre-constructed decks that are supposed to be played against each other. They come with really neat boxes. They've got the artwork of whoever the Planeswalker is or whatever, and you want to keep those decks like that. They're like, they kind of make a set. Well, you can't use them because they don't have, you can't fit cards that are sleeved in it. So anyway, I don't know what's going on there, but what I do use these, what I end up using these for, okay, is then since it has what set it is, and whatever tokens I get. So if you play this game, you know, there's cards that are tokens that you have creatures that maybe generate other creatures, whatever. So you get these token cards. Well, they're not worth any money. I don't need to sleeve those. And normally, I want to keep them all together by set so that, like, if I put cards in my deck that generate and use those tokens, I want to be able to find them without having to dig through a million things. So what I do then is I take any token creatures that I get, and I stick them in the box, those boxes, because I don't sleeve them. And then the other thing is they include a 20-sided die, which I'll rip it out of here real quick. So, a lot of people use the 20-sided die for their life total since each player starts with 20 life. And so these are special die that they're called spin down, meaning they're like a normal 20-sided die you would use in D&D or something. The pattern of numbers is somewhat randomized such that you're not going to have the 1 next to the 2 next to the 3 because they want any given roll to be able to be hopefully randomized on there. Well, these they're meant for life counters, so you kind of just spin them down. So there's actually a sequential order that you can kind of rotate the thing at. And the cool thing is when your life starting total, I don't know if this will pick this thing up, but instead of the number 20, they always do whatever the set symbol is. So like this one's kind of boring because it's a core set, so it just says M13. But like if you get, whatever, Innistrad or any of those previous last couple sets, the 20 will be whatever the set symbol is, which is kind of neat. In any event, so you get all that stuff in the Fat Pack, which is kind of neat. And then like for me, if I make my binder full of this stuff, then I want to have that the book. Oh, I guess I didn't even show you the booklet. So the booklet, what did I do with the booklet? So whenever you buy a Fat Pack for any of these sets, one thing that it includes, which is another major reason I actually buy one of these each time, is you get a booklet. Okay, so an actual physical book, and it's nice because it's full color. It's not just some little cheesy crappy paper thing. It's like well printed, pretty decent stock paper and so on. And it has some stuff in the front that kind of just has some text about what the set's about, or maybe some of the planeswalkers that are in the set, or if it's one of the non-core sets, it'll maybe have some lore about what plane you're in, and that's interesting and everything. But what I really care about, I guess I should say, is look, you get a full color rundown of every single card in the set. So you get, a nice little catalog, basically, where you get to see every single card in the set. So for me personally, what I do then is, since I make a binder for each new set with all the cards from that set in, then I stick this thing either in the front or the back because it's already got, binder punched holes in it here. I put that in there, and then I have, a little visual reference if I ever need it. So if I'm missing a card, don't have it or whatever, if I want to look up to see what it looks like, there you go. Instead of having to go online and maybe I'm out, trading cards in real life somewhere, I can't easily get to a computer. It's nice just to have a physical thing there, right? You just flip to it, and there you go. So in any event, I'm going to be opening up the box then, and the Fat Pack and those packs, and we'll just see what I get. Hopefully something really cool. And yeah, if you want to know more, I'll put some links at the bottom so you can get to this stuff. I assume probably a lot of you watching this already know plenty about Magic, but for those of you who don't, or maybe you've just heard of it or knew something about it a long time ago, check it out because it's still going. In fact, I think the game's going stronger now than it has in years. So, yeah, you should check it out. Thanks.